it going, guys? Oh, I forgot, it's a TED Talk, it's not a MC event. Okay, I want you guys to imagine for a minute. Imagine a global movement that encourages individuals to incite positivity and transform their inspiration into taking assertive action, and having that action being an initiative to keep changing the world for a better place. Imagine a movement that helps people who are aspiring individuals want to do something. Do for what is best in their community. Do what's best for what they are having trouble with. And imagine that being in 38 countries and growing, and literally shaking the earth. If you have that exactly in your mind right now, I mean, it's already happening. It's happening since 4 years ago. It started here in Kuala Lumpur, where I used to work at Mindvalley. Woohoo! And that's where I met my BFF, best friend forever, Mr. Daniel, who can't join us tonight, and he is my partner in doing this. And I just want to show you the first ever incitement event was this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people. Oh, 7, including the speaker. This was in November 11, 2011. And our goal was to make sure that the audience does not just listen to what we're saying, but take action at the end of the day. A good example is a speaker speaking about how he managed to travel with 500 ringgit in Vietnam for 1 week. And our audience just said, hey, I want to do the same thing. That's action. You're asking the speaker now how you could do the same thing. And that's when I had this idea, you know what, having a regular talk does not work. You have to keep it, you gotta design an experience that will allow them to kind of like, let me do something at the end of the day rather than just sitting here and listen and go back home and not do anything. Because that's how we are right now. Sometimes we are like that. Because that's how talks that are 45 minutes long could do to you. But this is just a year after. What has happened here was a slight tweak on the experience. Rather than speakers speaking like this, you're actually much closer. I'm actually talking to you, I'm engaging with you, we're having interactivity. We even have karaoke presentation, which is basically someone who come on stage here and present a mysterious PowerPoint. It's a crowd favorite. But the most important key here is the fact that we have the most powerful session at every event. It's called the appreciation round. That's when we bring on speakers like Jason or anyone here who spoke today to come on stage and have the audience say what they want to say on who empowered them the most, who they appreciated the most, and that's when the magic happens. And that's a perfect moment where you funnel them to programs, initiatives, projects that can help them, whether if it's for yourself or for your community. Even if you have a project you want to do, you don't know how to do it, there are always people who can help you. And we are pretty much a connector, moving your inspirational energy to something that is more actionable. And we did something crazy. We crowdsourced 2 of the most powerful poetry slammers in the world. We got Sarah and Floki. Anyone is a big fan of poetry slam? Woohoo! This is by the people of Incitement. They crowdsourced this thing and they made it happen. And we knew because of that, their organization just said, you know what, I want to come. And again, power to the people, the right way. And we had them coming on board, doing the appreciation round, and for them, it's the same thing. They didn't know how many people they've pretty much empowered. And by then, our movement has grown worldwide. This is in Ipoh, which is about 30 minutes from here. We are actually in 4 cities in Malaysia. We're also in Jordan. Any Jordanians here? No, okay. We're also in Serbia. We're very highly active in, well, not Australia, but we are in Australia. Philistine, we're in Palestine, which is like my own personal dream, because I have a very strong attachment with what they're going through. And last but not least, the most powerful incitement right now, and I would say the most powerful currently, is Italy. They're really killing it. And their way of bringing incitement is literally helping the unemployment there. 20% of youth don't have jobs. It's extremely difficult. And what they do is they empower them by taking classes, or entrepreneurship classes to get them self-sustain themselves. And it's a very beautiful story. And now, thanks to our global expansion, we've been noticed by so many movements out there. Movements like Leader of Light. These guys plant solar power lights with recycling water bottles. So we are pretty much the global partner planting it around Malaysia. And we currently have brought light to nearly 300 villagers at the moment. And we're planning to build even more. This is the way how you translate your passion, your inspiration to action. Show them immediate impact, just like that. Get them to sign up, get up. We're pretty much getting you from A to B. That's it. And this is why I'm here to share you the journey of how I managed to get here. And I'm telling you, it's not easy. Same with our speakers tonight. They had a same hero's journey, which I love that talk, brother. And I want to share you 7 things you need to know to be that extra, that little extra that I think all of us here are very busy with our ordinary lives, which is true. But before I get there, I need to share you some stories that will help you gain some perspective to why I'm here and advocating you guys to be that extra. So this book is pretty much my favorite book of all time by Peter Diamandis. And he talks about how we're living in the most peaceful era right now. Regardless of all the Daesh, the ISIS going on, or all the mumbo jumbos, we're still living in the most peaceful time. And it's considered one of the most abundant time of our lives. And he quotes, which resonated with me so much, abundance is not about providing everyone on this planet with a life of luxury, but rather it's about providing all with a life of possibility. That is how I resonate myself. And it's so powerful. I always love this book. And this is the time where the tech bubble was just huge. A lot of impact is going on in the technology era. All right? And I was during this time, I was still working with the ASEAN Secretariat in Indonesia. I was pretty much helping the people there. And I moved to Jordan working with a bunch of NGOs, and I can tell you the truth, I've lost hope in humanity at this point. Because everywhere I go helping out NGOs, it seems like there's something that's stopping what I think is best to better things, what they're doing. They just stop me. I can't do anything. I am left with, my mouth gasp. And it's a terrible time for me, and I gave hope. I was like, with so many IGOs and NGOs, I pretty much lost hope in humanity. I remember one of the most powerful projects I worked on with ASEAN Secretariat. You can see me here, giving a speech here. I was working on the democratization process of Burma's election in 2009. And there was one particular thing I was so vocal about, was about the rights of the Rohingyas. And that part of the cause was not met because they had to go through a specific process, which I understand. Ever since then, my dream of wanting to make a change was aspired. So I banked on thriving for success. I started doing with corporate jobs. I literally switched. And it's a very difficult time because my dream was to make change and help people. And when they put you down, they really put you down. So I ended up working with a corporate job that does, quite really good money. I met plenty of people from the tech industry. And all was about, this thing is cool, this is gonna help, industries to lessen their efficiency and create more solutions for GRCs and, all these mumbo jumbo tech keywords. And one day, I realized, I didn't like this kind of lifestyle, but I had to kind of, identify what was success. I was lost. I literally was lost until I was reminded of this incident. And these were Rohingyans who were trying to escape the brutality of the junta at that time. And I remembered back at the proposal when me and my team were vocal about this. And now you're seeing so many of this being slaughtered and deported back. And we're not doing anything, unfortunately, not enough. Other things that reminded me of what I loved doing was things like this. This is a scene in the Philippines, one of the poorest countries in Southeast Asia. This guy's house was towed down by the flood, and he's in this mud of pool of dirty water, looking for things that he could salvage. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened. So even in the age of abundance, I must share you the other side of the coin, where 1.6 billion people don't have access to any kind of electricity. You have more people where they don't have any access to any kind of drinkable water. 760 million, this number is growing. You got 2.6 billion people who pretty much don't have any kind of sanitation to help them have a proper hygienic lifestyle. And let's talk about something about banking even. 2.7 billion people till now don't have any basic banking. Instead, they have loan sharks instead. You know, it's hard that this perspective has not been really shared upon in the mainstream, but at the same time, it's what I feel I should share this because it's important. Because these guys have the same equal rights as us. It's just that they've been unfortunate. So I've been asking myself, why aren't people doing anything? How am I able to help all of these problems? Things like, what's wrong with this world? Who thinks this world is kind of messed up? Raise your hand.
I love the world.
For the positive stuff, I do. But this world is as dirty as it is on the other side of the coin. And then I asked this again to myself, are there more people like me who have these kind of thoughts? Who want to do something, but they're just either too comfortable with their ordinary lives, or they're just too busy, or they just don't have that extra push to do it. But I was so disappointed with myself because when I asked, why did I give up so soon? But that's not the case anymore. And I've somehow clawed back and did what I wanted to do. But a good perspective for you guys to know, in this generation that we're living in, this is what's going on. You have the oldies like Bill Gates. You got the Gates Foundation, right? They're asking the people of Silicon Valley, why aren't you building things that really matter to the people right now? If you really think of it, the people who are suffering right now, that's a 5 billion market, right? There are 5 billion people where you could, in business terms, pretty much penetrate, right? But of course, our young people these days are just asking back, I just want to create something cool for the people who want to, something like Snapchat. I'm not saying Snapchat is bad, but something like this, I'm too lazy to open my window, let's have an app that I can open my window up and down, these kind of things. And it's cool. But when it's just, I can't comprehend this. People are building more apps these days. I don't even know if I'm going to even download these apps. I'm not saying they're wrong, but they're more, I feel, a human touch that's missing. So luckily, while Incitement was growing, I met this beautiful gentleman. He's about 6'5". He's from Holland. He was pretty much going through the same thing. So I met him at Mindvalley also, and that's when we pretty much want to do something that really matters. Something like, we had really brilliant colleagues at Mindvalley. As you witnessed, 2 of our Mindvalley friends today gave a really astounding speech. And they had really epic stuff to share and move people, literally. So that's how it started, pretty much, from the first event I showed you. And we grew since then. And I wanted to find out if there's even more people out there. Even in Italy, there were plenty of people who had the same question. When they found each other, they stick together. But are there more things like incitement? Or are there more things like oops, what's going on? Oh yeah, are there more people like me? And there are plenty actually. People like Deborah Henry, who's Miss Malaysia Universe, right? She had the same journey as me. She was all attached with the refugee issue. And so when we found out what she does, it literally resonated us, and we clicked. And from the Bora Henry, I met people more like these guys. I don't know if you guys know Impact Hub. They are the most, Impact Hub is a co-working space, which is more for people who are doing social impact projects or businesses. And most of our incitements around the world are partnered with Impact Hub venues. And I met these two perks who are pretty much, leading incitement in their respective cities. And it's such a nice feeling to know that there are people who are doing good. They're pretty much more hardcore than me, because they pounce on people who denounce social business, or how NGOs are just like, it's a waste of time, you should do some more money. You have those kind of people. They're more hardcore than me. They're more of a defender. And you got people like Irak Diaz, who is the founder of Leader of Light, the guy who's been building lights all around the world. He has so far built nearly 300,000 lights for people who don't have lights. People who don't even have lights for 20, 50 years. And you see impact visibly. And these are the type of people that we're partnering right now. And it's amazing. And we know the fact that if we keep going at this rate, it's going to keep us hopeful. And listen, you don't have to own an NGO, because everything starts with you. Like for this example here, an old man in Saudi Arabia noticed, some part of Saudi Arabia, they like to waste food. When they cook, they have some leftovers. So he didn't like to waste food, because there are still poor people in Saudi Arabia. So he did a simple idea. He just put a refrigerator outside, so he asked his neighbors, if you have any leftover food, put in there. At least it's safe and it won't expire. So the next day, you have people who are on the streets who don't even have any money, who just come here and pick it up. Simple thing. Self-initiated, very proactive, amazing stuff. Simple stuff. Literally, it's a simple thing. Instead of building an app, you can build something like this. One of these stuff. Maybe a mobile shower, perhaps. If you've seen that mobile shower viral news lately. Someone's building a mobile shower right now in Kuala Lumpur for homeless people. Thank God this is a clap, actually. So, and this is actually growing. Things like this are growing. And there's one trait I notice, people like Deborah, people like Irak Diaz, people like that Saudi Arabian guy that I mentioned. And it's this. The one thing that these extras, these human beings called extras, have in common is the fact that they have this willpower to break the stagnant reality that we're in, and when doing things that really matter, the main point is their attitude, and they actually do give a damn. How many of you do give a damn about how messed up this world is? Raise your hand.
No, I love the world.
We always have a joker among us, huh? But that's the point. Do you really give a damn? I will give you a test later, and you will see if we pass this test. All right? So, how are we moving forward with all this epic stuff that's happening? We're gonna, save the world. We're gonna help those needies. And there's so many people out there who are doing the same thing. You got people out tell you more what they do. It's amazing stuff. And what we're trying to move forward with now is a collaborative network of banking on each other's resources and how we can partner and tackle on a bigger scale. But partnerships are actually amazing for social businesses, for NGOs. It's pretty much like milk and chocolate, putting it together. And you have chocolate milk, and of course your tummy's all good because I like chocolate milk. Who likes chocolate milk? Exactly. Give a hell yeah. Exactly. But in our realm, and the people who are doing really all this impact, we have crazy hurdles. Hurdles that are just painful. And even though I mentioned partnership is also one of them. I know it's kind of like inceptionizing, but it's true. We are so impulsive sometimes. When I get excited when I want to partner with someone who's doing another amazing thing, but nothing has been hashed out. People were doing good things. Let's do something, yeah. But nothing's cleared out, or maybe someone has a different agenda, or maybe they want to monopolize being the leader in this space. That happens, and that's why it's a huge hurdle for most social enterprises that I know, whether if it's in Malaysia or around the world, it's still a challenge for us. But the most important thing that we have the most hardest time with, I think everyone will agree with me here, is law enforcement. As much as you want to help a refugee, as much as you want to help poor people, this is the only mother of all mothers that's stopping us. It's true. And we need to do more. To give you a more insight, I want to tell you a story, but it's quite powerful actually. As I'm speaking right now, as we're all here right now, this is actually happening. What I'm trying to show you is there are a group of social impact projects in Africa that helps build roads for these women in, say, Gabon, or in Nigeria, or in Zambia. And they help build wells, they help do everything that's helping them. The only problem is these guys. What do? They harass these girls, they steal their food, and the worst thing of all, they rape them. And feeding from a trying to help attitude, it sucks, and how terrible that we can't do much because these things won't be reported. You also have to look at the cultural element to this. This is in a country that is a third world country with very little law enforcement, very little visibility. There's nothing much we can do. So what happens is the NGO that does help these people out, they put them in a home shelter, and that too they get abused. So this is just to give you a bit of a perspective of the real side of the coin. But on the other hand, nevertheless, even in the age of abundance, even when you have 1.6 billion people with no electricity, you have people like Leader of Light who are providing light all over the world. Even in the age of abundance, you have 600 million people who don't have water. You have people like these guys, Water.org, Lifesaver. They're providing water to these people, and they're doing it from the heart. You even have people who are solving this mother of all mothers as well. 2.6 billion who don't have something. Can you imagine? I don't know how am I going to do it. I have no paper or anything. So just from that idea, Oxfam, who actually run this program, is called P-Pupil. It's pretty much a really cool bag. Yeah, you do your stuff in it, okay, all right, and then you wrap it, you put it in the ground, and this could be a fertilizer. So it's killing 2-3 birds in one stone. All right, so that's how creative they are. And they've given this pretty much. I think this number has gone pretty much to 10 million now, and it's growing. It's agriculture plus sanitation all done in one shot. And of course, when we talk about people who don't have access to banking, you have the most renowned people on earth who are doing this, which is Mr. Muhammad Yunus. You know, his method has been proven. So there are people out there who are doing the extra mile, and the stuff they go through is just ridiculous, but they persevere. And this is why I want to share you what you should know, what are the things that you should know to be that little extra, okay? So just bear with me a bit. Know for the fact that if you want to do a bit of extra, just know the fact that we're trashing the crap out of this world. In America, every year, you have 1,000 stadiums, equivalent to 1,000 stadiums filled with wasted food. That's a lot of food, man. Food that can be transported easily. We are in an abundant world of abundance. There's something we could have done out there to pretty much transfer this food to places that are needed. You know what I mean? So know the fact that we're trashing. Every day, it's happening. Either from garbage, from food, from littering. And recently, I saw this sea turtle with the straw in the nostril, and that's just a straw. I don't know what a can of Coke would do. You know what I mean? So put that in perspective. if you want to be that little extra, I encourage you to read more things, biographies of people who are doing more significant things in their life. Someone like Gandhi, someone like Nelson Mandela, someone like Martin Luther King. Their stories actually resonates much more, because regardless of this, all the success you want, it's the end goal of the welfare of mankind that they care about. And that's why I encourage you to read more things that is more related to those people I just mentioned. Bear it in mind. You don't have to be the greatest speaker on earth. I can admit myself, I'm not the best speaker. But it's your word that matters. It's an asset. It can heal someone and it can hurt someone. And when people resonate with what you are trying to convey, obviously you've done something there. Alright? Okay, remember the test I told you about? This is my point number 4. And I want you to try and identify what's wrong here. Okay? So it's a guy with a dash cam driving around Kuala Lumpur, you know what I mean? Maybe he's trying to show off his Suzuki Swift or something like that, I don't know. And then it's a heavy rain, and all of a sudden, just watch here, something's gonna happen, alright? It's blown off, and blah. Now see what happens. So tell me if you can notice what's wrong here. Correct. This is what we call the bystander effect. Stop contributing and being a bystander. I know ordinary people out there doing more than this. Recently, my friend was in a taxi. He witnessed a terrible car accident. He, being a Romanian from Europe, it's quite normal. I guess it's quite normal there to stop when they see an accident. Encourages the taxi driver to stop. And one thing the taxi driver said, no, not my business, not my business. And you know what happened to those guys in the accident? They died. So just remind yourself to do that little extra. Don't contribute to this thing. It's horrible. This is another thing. You have internet, on your phone now, on your smartphone. Soon you're gonna have it in toilet paper. I don't know. The technology is just growing. It's scary sometimes. But information age is over. It's done. We're in the transformational age. You have all the tools, all the knowledge in your palm. Time to do something about it, man. So if you want to be the extra, if you're not a handy person, be a techie person. Use tech to do more things extra. And there are people out there who I can share more, which I'm not going to share tonight, but they are. So utilize this. Question every single thing that you don't understand, because it's not fair to you. You don't want to follow someone blindly and all of a sudden it ends up in a roadblock, and then what? Question it. I know as an Asian culture, especially being a Muslim, it's hard to question things. When you say something to your dad, he says, "How dare you speak up to me?" Everyone, all the Malaysians can relate to this. Don't you dare talk to me, boy. This kind of thing. I get that all the time. And then slap. But seriously, question anything that doesn't feel right, anything that you are more curious, question it. It's your right. This is the only human right that you can practice right now. That is pretty much visible. Question it. Alright? Until you truly understand it, and then act on it. Whether you want to believe it or not, totally up to you. But to be an extra, when you see something that's mushkil, or something that is, mysterious, or there's something not right, question it. Okay? Lastly, life is just short. So make your days count. Science can measure our life expectancy, but it cannot tell you the date and when is your death. It can happen anytime. You never know this. So make your life count. And with that, I also want to urge you to pretty much, whatever beautiful memories you have, or memories that really lift you up, use that as a fuel to keep you driving forward, move forward, do something to keep you from all the stress or all the challenges or all the problems that you have. Use it. You know, and I had a hard time too, like you know, a breakup, which happened quite recently, and you know, someone who I really care about. It really destroyed my self-confidence. But what kept me going were the memories. You know, it's part of it. It's part of you to move forward. Use those memories, those cheery times you had. You know, those are the powerful things that keep you moving. And recently, my friend here, who has been my god sister when I was in Jordan, also passed away last week. And she died from internal bleeding, which she had nothing that she didn't knew. What hurt me the most was that she was so close in reaching her dreams. And her dreams was to go to Europe. That was it. That was a simple dream. Because she's Indonesian, it's so difficult to get visa sometimes, Schengen visa. And when we helped her out with accommodation, places to stay, and then I found out that her last breath was 6 days ago, it just broke my heart because she was so close. And that's why I'm saying life is short. So use that. Make your days count. This is why I want to challenge you. I challenge you to do something today. Let's do something that no other TED Talk has ever done. Go out there and, well, that's so vague, but do something. Talk to people out here. Talk to people like Jason Campbell. Talk to people like, I forgot his name, but he's awesome. Talk to him. Talk to the TED people here. Talk to me. Talk to those guys behind there. Somewhere down there, there's always a path that will help you grow or help you be part of something greater. Yes or yes? Yes. And the difference between an ordinary and an extraordinary is just being extra. You know, get out from that regular lifestyle of yours and, you know, dance it off, you know what I mean? Just be a little extra, you know? I know it sounds kind of vague, I've been repeating it the whole time, but again, I know it's difficult, but it's very important. So go out there, talk to someone here, network, do something at the end of the day. Like sign up for some kind of volunteering. It's one of the easiest way. Sign up for Isaac, powerful. We hire interns from Isaac. They're amazing, by the way. All right, and this is why I'm only telling you this because we're living in the most peaceful time and the most abundant time. Let's not have another World War III. We don't want that shit. You have to. Take this chance. Seriously, it's the time to, you know, honestly we're kind of relaxed, but do something. This is the time. Let's create more abundance out there, and this is why I want to end this talk with, again, Mr. Peter Diamandis himself. Read it with me. Abundance is not about providing everyone on this planet with a life of luxury. Rather, it's about providing all with a life of possibility. And that, I thank you all. I hope this TED Talk is amazing. I thank you, everybody. Be the spark. You are the spark.